Some people enjoy tabletop role-playing games for the roleplay, and others prefer the combat. And with combat often lasting a large portion of the setting, it's really important to keep all of your players engaged. So why not use tactical battle maps? They can allow the perfect combination of both combat and roleplay. I'm Janet from World Anvil, and in this episode of Worldbuilding Inspiration, we're building great battle maps that are tactical, gorgeous, and engaging for your players. One of the first things to consider is how your battle map works with your plot. For example, if there's an important letter or powerful relic your PCs have to fetch, you need to remember it. You might lay it out on a desk, lock it in a hidden chest, or even put it in a cage with a harpy. But if the PCs need it, it must be there somewhere. There might be more dramatic plot points too. Your players have to stop a summoning ritual by destroying crystals, or release an NPC from a cage during combat. Again, these elements need to appear on your map so your players know exactly where the action is and how to avoid their enemies on the way. But not all dangers in D&D battle maps come from enemies. Fire, thunderstorms, earthquakes, lava streams flowing around the PCs, or even a bridge crumbling beneath their feet. All of these are amazing ways to up the stakes and add tension to your encounters. And you can even use round counters to increase this feeling of tension further. Or your players might use those hazards tactically, exploding the crumbling bridge to remove large groups of mooks. And these dynamic, exciting battlefields bring roleplay to the fore once more.
I'm a poet and didn't even know I was rhyming those words.
Discussions about tactics, characters showing their wit, ingenuity, and bravery all hook into your role-playing loving characters into combat too. What's not to love? Unfortunately for Obi-Wan, D&D 5e doesn't give specific mechanical advantages to elevation, but you can totally give advantage at your discretion. Some TTRPGs do. But regardless of mechanics, high ground can offer tactical options for your players. Your players can ambush from above, taking advantage of a surprise round, or flip the script and have the enemies do exactly the same thing. Elevation also can help aesthetically. There are a myriad of locations that would look silly if they were flat, and even villages with houses have opportunities for reaching higher ground. And you can mix elevation with your hazards too. If there's a flood, your players will rush to higher ground to avoid wading through water or even swimming. And if the flood is lava or scree rather than water, that gives the high ground even more advantages. One of the advantages of a great battle map over Theatre of the Mind is that you can add all those juicy details without having to describe everything. But it's not just about making sure that your desert is, well, deserty and you don't have bushes in your throne room. You and your players can use the details tactically too. An inn, add tables for cover, food and tankards to throw at people, and a fireplace for, well, manual fireballs. In a forest, a variety of bushes and trees can offer tactical advantage for either side and make combat more interesting. And yes, clever details can also provide foreshadowing. Add a statue of an important NPC. Add a secret note peeking from a drawer, or a mural depicting the real secret history of a battle. And you've got clues to secrets in your world without too much effort. If you have some extra prep time and you want to leave your players in awe, why not try using dynamic battle maps? These are maps that change throughout the encounter. Remember that crumbling bridge that we were talking about earlier? You can have different maps for different stages of its decay, so your players can actually see the bridge crumbling under their feet. To do this, start with the first and last map of the sequence, and then decide how many additional stages of decay you want in between. This works best for longer encounters, as you probably won't want to change the map in the middle of a round. You can even add triggers, like an explosive sound burst or thunderous smite, to break the bridge and shift to the next map. This will shake up your players and change their tactics, as they're going to be eager not to do anything loud to destroy the bridge further. Roll20 is a great place to host these kinds of dynamic maps for online play. I've added a link in my description and above my head. Yes, these places. And there you have it. 5 top tips on how to create great battle maps for your campaign. If there's any tips I've missed on making great maps, I want to hear them. Throw them in the comments below, please. And while you're down there, please drop us a like on the video if it was helpful, or if it made you think, or if you learned something new. And if you're new here, welcome, hello, and don't forget to subscribe. I've been Janet from World Anvil, and I've got just one more thing to say. It's time to grab your hammer and go world build.